So here's a beautiful Hohner button accordion in the keys of A and D, but this is rare in that it's a three-voice. Straight from the factory, it was a three-voice from day one. So even though it's the size of a poker work, they've put an extra reed block on the treble side, and so it has three voice. This is in MMM configuration, so has a nice sort of musette sound to it. What else? And on the bass side, it also is a very deviation from their standard poker work in that when you push a bass button, and I think I've got some close-ups, the bass note button, it actually opens two palettes for four reeds. So it's a four octave bass note. Really nice sounding. And then likewise the chord is also four notes, but there's six reeds total for each pair. So four reeds for the bass note, and then it shares two of those high octave reeds with the chord. So if you do the chord, you're getting those four, and I have a picture of that also. What else? This has been repadded, both the treble and bass sides. I did have a sticky button when I got it. That's all fixed. It has this nice metal covered keyboard, and one of the advantages of that is that it comes with button limiting already. Most of those Hohner's poker works, the buttons dive down into the hole, and in this case they've got a staggered cardboard ladder type back up there, so the buttons don't they stop about flush with the keyboard. It had the valves on this were in pretty great shape. It had the original leather valves, which I've retained. I've added new helper springs to some of the longer leather valves that might have a tendency to curl. But on the very large bass reeds, I did replace all of those because they're so big and large. They just won't last very long. So I've replaced them with a modern composite type bass. That's for the large bass reeds and the middle bass reeds. Everything else, the treble and chords, were all fine. I had to replace a few of those, but and then, like I said, I added helper springs. What else? Probably the biggest effort on this was the fact that out of the factory, this was at A435 reference, which was not that uncommon back in the 1940s or something. I believe this is pre-war Hohner, pre-World War II, and it's got brass corners and brass on the bellows corners, so pre-war, I believe, and it was at A435, not that uncommon for back then. And in this case, I've shifted the entire instrument up to A440. That's quite a bit of work to shift all the reeds. In this case, there's 174 reeds in this little guy, so quite a bit. But what else? There was a couple of these holes were punched through in the back grill cloth, and I was able to find a similar grill cloth, a donor material, and patch that in, so you really can't tell unless you look really close. And the front, not bad at all, is that sort of green cheesecloth type stuff. Does have accidentals. Some of these low bass reeds have larger weights than I've seen on poker works. They give you very nice low frequencies. delightful papers are beautiful on this. Great piece of history. Hohner, 3-voice, polka-sized Vienna button accordion, the keys of A and D.